Enjoy our shows? Follow the Mercado Airwaves crew all over social media. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. On Instagram, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado2121. Mike is at Mike Mercado2333. And our true crime show is at Murder Mysteries and More. And on Twitter, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado21Alex. And Mike is at MMercado2333. You can follow the network at Mercado Airwaves. Follow our pop culture show on Twitter at Good Brothers Pod. Get us on the go by downloading our programs anywhere you get your favorite podcast, like iTunes, SoundCloud, Podbean, Stitcher, and other popular sites. Just search us at Mercado Airwaves. While you're at it, please like, rate, review, and share us with your friends. Visit us on youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. Click the subscribe and like button to get notified every time a new episode or interview is posted. Support Mercado Airwaves by visiting patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves, the home of our interviews with athletes and celebrities, which you can get ad-free and early before it's released to the public. Come play video games with us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network. Mercado Airwaves is powered by Munch Art Design. Like them on Facebook at Munch Art Design. Voiceover work on Mercado Airwaves is performed by Josh Fox.
And here we go.
Get ready, get set for the best movie and pop culture talk in the universe. It's the Good Brothers on Mercado Airwaves with your hosts, Alex Mercado and Mike Mercado.
Welcome back to another episode of The Good Brothers. I'm Alex, that's Mike. We are The Good Brothers, the best podcast in the Midwest. Mike, say hi to the folks.
Hi, folks. How you doing, good brother?
Good. We just saw a movie.
Yes, we did. We just got out of Terminator Dark Fate. And good brother, we are going to break down our reaction to the latest film in the Terminator franchise. And we have a lot more movie news, and we jump into the small screen in television. But of course, we start off every show by seeing how we spent all our monies, good brother.
It actually was interesting.
So let's go to the movies and see that number one this past weekend was
Joker.
That's right, Joker at 1. At 2 was Maleficent. How do you say it?
Maleficent.
At 3 was Zombieland. Very interesting that leading into a Halloween weekend, it didn't jump up a little bit more, but I guess it already had its run from everyone who's going to watch it. Addams Family at 4. Black and Blue opening up at 5. The Countdown at 6, opening up another scary movie with no hype behind it.
I feel like that since Joker is almost a horror movie, that it kind of took the audience anyway. And like we guessed, it is the number one costume this year.
Yeah, easily.
And like, you know, it's everywhere. It's pop culture relevant now. It kind of surpassed it. And it's fascinating to see a movie go from 3 to a 2 back to a 1 and change so fast. I think it's going to go to number 2 this week, obviously, with Terminator. But it's fascinating to see it jump back up.
And at number 7, Gemini Man just dropping down the standings. At number 8, good brother, The Lighthouse. So word of mouth has finally caught up to it at a little bit more mass release. It went from 16 to 8 this week.
I think it's very meh. This is that first Oscar movie where, well, not first. There's a couple still where you're like, maybe it's not going to get as much love as we thought. Maybe it's more just a good movie and not a fantastic movie.
And at number 9, we have The Current War. And rounding out the top 10 is Downton Abbey. And good brother, if you're looking at places you can spend your money this weekend at the movies, you can see Motherless Brooklyn, you can see Arctic Dogs, or you can see Harriet and or Terminator Dark Fate. That is what is out this weekend. Good brother, before we head into Terminator Dark Fate, our review of it, anything stand out to you? You and I saw the Harriet poster when we were in the theater, and it just is
definitely
weird.
A movie that doesn't know what it wants to be.
Which is weird. Like, even the marketing seems like, is it action? Is it supposed to be suspense? Is this supposed to be a coming of moment? Like, so it's a little shame that they're using this source material and it's not really going to be
almost a waste of the source material for now. Yeah.
That you know could be used for something.
That could be a really good performance from some young African-American actress. So now it's kind of weird. You're like, well, we're kind of wasting it on this shoot 'em up backstory-ish. So it seems kind of like pointless.
So that is what it's looking like in the business.
Did you ever hear of Arctic Dogs? Like, did you?
No.
I haven't. Yeah, right?
No.
I saw maybe one trailer every time I go to the movies. Same with that Will Smith Pigeon movie. Some of these animated movies are like just skating on by until Frozen 2 comes out.
Well, this is coming out from Entertainment Studios Motion Pictures. It stars Angelica Houston, James Franco, Jeremy Renner, Alec Baldwin. So, I mean, Yeah, again, a very stereotypical, under the radar, not going to make its
Has
money.
kind of an A cast, not necessarily the A cast.
It'll make all its money on VOD, so that's where it'll make all its money.
Fine, yeah.
But that is the business end of it, and we head into our review of Terminator Dark Fate. We just got out of the movie theater, good brother, letting everybody into the fourth wall of the show. We actually went to an early premiere. You and I normally don't get to record this late into the week.
Well,
so it was
because of
kind
the
of a treat.
holiday, obviously. So we pushed our screening back to this morning, earliest one we can get. So it was fun. I don't mind seeing morning movies.
Yeah, it's always
especially
fun.
on a holiday weekend-ish like this.
So with that in mind, before we get into any type of spoiler conversation, why don't we give a general idea of our thoughts for anybody who's going to get a chance to watch it this weekend? What did you think about the latest installment in the Terminator franchise, Terminator Dark Fate?
I liked it. It's extremely fun. It looks cool. It's a very good part 3 because obviously this movie's erasing everything besides Terminator 1 and 2 that we already know. It has a lot of cool characters, a lot of good CGI. It was funny.
Yeah.
Linda Hamilton's definitely a very anticipated welcome back, and I think it lands, honestly.
It does.
I think you definitely need her, and it makes it feel more familiar.
It does. It's homie.
It's just a good add-on, and you hear it all the time, and I think people are upset hearing it like, well, it's not 1 and 2, but it's good. Well, yeah, but you're talking 1 and 2 as in like legendary movies. One as more of a horror, and one as an action thriller. So I think this one kind of falls in the middle of both, more an action thriller, but I do enjoy it. And yeah, of course it's number 3, but it's number 3 on a legendary list. I think it's very good, though. I don't think it's number 3 just because it's number 3. I think it's 3 because it's good. It's a great add-on. And there's a lot in there that I could see them making sequels, but they don't have to. But they will.
And I really much share the same sentiment as the good brother. To me, there's a lot of great action in it. There's a lot of great comedy in it. There's really good chemistry amongst the cast. This is not going to be a movie that's going to go in for any Oscars, or it's not going to be this critical darling. It's going to be a movie that if you love this franchise or you love these type of action movies, you're going to go in there and for 2 hours you're going to be entertained. I think Tim Miller did a great job directing this film. I think that Linda Hamilton and Arnold Schwarzenegger are obviously they're staples of this franchise, and I think you and I were talking about it when we got out of the theater. It's just the familiar of having them in there and the fact that they care. Like, it seems like the direction that Tim Miller gave them amongst his directing, his style that you get in Deadpool, like the slow motion action scenes.
To it,
but it fits them. It seems like everybody was having a good time making it. And then you obviously Linda Hamilton, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mackenzie Davis I thought was great as Grace. Natalia Reyes is the new lead.
I kind of like
Danny.
Grace more. Like, she's a very welcome add-on.
Gabriel Luna as the new Terminator.
He was Daredevil, correct? He's Daredevil on TV, or is that someone else?
He is Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider. Sorry, not
Charlie
Daredevil.
Cox is Daredevil.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, Ghost Rider.
Yes.
He killed it as Ghost Rider, and he killed it in this movie.
He's fun. Like, he's definitely one of the better bad Terminators we get coming back. And we've had some good actors play it sometimes.
They're called
I
Rev
think
9s.
he's a good mix. Yeah, they're very fun.
Yeah.
Like, they're intense.
Yeah.
That's a part of this movie I like that it was rated R, because it was very intense at parts where you're like, oh no, like, this guy is the real deal, compared to the other ones where it always felt like we were going to get out of it. This one was more like, oh no, he can do a lot. Like, he's always coming for you.
So, good brother, before we give our scores, just to give an indication of what other critics are thinking about, right now it has a 69% on the critic meter
That's
with
really good
186
for a Terminator movie. That's like really good for a Terminator movie.
87% from the audience.
Yeah, that's a really good score.
What's your score?
Out of 10?
Yes.
I give it an 8.
Okay, cool.
The other ones were like 9 and 9.5,
Yeah,
so it's about an 8.
I agree. I agree. So, and I think it's for anybody who's grown up with Terminator, who likes this franchise, who likes. I think this is a really fun movie to watch this weekend.
Like this. I think Terminator 3 is like a 7. I think Salvation's like a 7.5, and then I think Jenny Smith is like a 6.
Yeah.
Because they're Terminator movies. They're still fun,
Yeah.
and Arnold's great, but this is definitely like no. Even if beside it's like one of the better Terminator movies we've seen recently, to reboot it. It's actually a good movie.
It's a really good movie.
Very entertaining, very diverse cast. A lot of women, a lot of, Hispanics on a more dominant white cast. Even African Americans pretty well represented in this saga.
And nobody's vilified.
Yeah,
everybody's
but we
just there.
really don't get a lot of Hispanic characters, so it's always fun to get some.
Mm-hmm. So I think everybody's going to enjoy this movie. I think it's going to be a treat. More than anything, I think people are going to.
It's not too robot filled.
Yeah.
Like, they don't try to over-explain it. I think that may be a sequel. Where they're like, okay, this is what's really going on. They don't try to overkill you with, well, this is how it works. No, it's more just a singular story. And just like when DC or any other universe does it, it's better to tell a singular story and add on to it compared to just throwing everything at us.
And more importantly, people will talk about it because of certain things they did in this movie. And if you want to know exactly what they did in Terminator Dark Fate, stay tuned. In the next few moments, we will be doing our spoiler discussion about the new Terminator movie. He gives it an 8. I give it an 8. That is the official score here on the Good Brothers for Terminator Dark Fate. If you want to stick around for our spoiler discussion, it will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good brother. We are in the Terminator Dark Fate spoiler part of our discussion. They kill John Connor in the first 15 minutes of this movie.
It was probably less. It was probably about 5 minutes.
And it's actually Edward Furlong.
No,
Quote
yeah,
unquote.
so they did bring him back for this stuff. It's fascinating because the story they're telling is part 2 happens.
Yes.
They stop the war. Skynet is defeated. But now here's the little caveat they throw in there. When Skynet's sent back to Terminator from part 1, the T-800, it's the
T-8-101.
T-8-101.
That's what he is.
When they send the original part 1 Arnold back, the bad one, they send several back actually. And some of them are kind of on different parts of the planet, kind of making their way through. Because this isn't the future. They can't just kind of fly wherever they want, like when Skynet's in power. They got to kind of go by modern time. So it's interesting that you see these whole first 2 movies happen. The good Terminator comes back. They make do. They move down south. War's over. She's with her son. And then they bring back this random one that's been hanging around to kill her. And then he gets a backstory because now that his purpose is done, he finds a family to take care of. So the Terminator that killed John Connor now has a family and is more human and kind of grows what they call a conscience. So I thought that was a very interesting twist. How to do it, and like how do we keep bringing Arnold back fresh though? And I like the way they did it.
Now, what do you think about the whole idea of their new way of pushing the franchise for potential sequels of that Danny is not the mother of the Savior, she is the Savior?
Well, because now there's like, okay, Skynet's dead. Throw that away. 1 and 2 with Skynet, they're done. It's over. You almost got to take it as one universe there. So now in the future, okay, now we're in 2019. Coming in our future is a whole different bad guy and a whole different set of AI, even more advanced. So now that's what we're going to worry about. And like you said, we get these new characters who now it's not the mother of a savior. It's more modern. Like, no, it's about to happen sooner than we think, which is fascinating because you're like, okay, so the future we're about to see is only like 5 years away, honestly. It's not 30 years away like they used to set up. It's way more soon. We see Grace as a child, and it's a constant loop. So I think it's fun where they can really go with the sequels if they decide to.
Yeah, it takes place in 2042 is when Mackenzie, who plays Grace, comes back into the
like, and that's when they're in like the mix of the war. Like it's war. Like because remember, humanity's got to die and then kind of rebuild, and then we get an even army instead of just no. Maybe now we have the army sooner. Maybe now that she knows this is the turn or something.
Did you enjoy the fact that they kept Linda Carter? That they kept Sarah Connor, sorry.
So I was like, Linda Carter. I was like, Wonder Woman?
Yeah, that they kept...
no, I do. I love it because she's the one that should carry the franchise, Linda Hamilton.
Linda Hamilton.
You mixed both. You mixed her made-up character and her real name. Yeah. I like that she kept her because she's kind of the new babysitter now. She's kind of the Arnold mixed with the Grace character.
Which is kind of cool. Which is funny.
Like, she's tough like a Terminator, but she is human. And now you can see, like, okay, that's her John now. Now she's protecting a different child that's supposed to save the future.
And they go into that a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she kind of sees it as that now of like, oh, no, I was protecting her because she was me. And I feel bad. I'm protecting her now because she reminds me of my son. And the savior of the world and the pressure that comes with. I will protect her now.
Linda Hamilton is awesome.
Sarah Connor. She's great. Yeah, and I know who were like, she's playing tough. I was like, that's her job.
Yeah.
That's what's fun. I don't need her to try to be cool. I need her to be tough.
You know what's interesting is like Linda Hamilton didn't necessarily have the biggest career after Terminator. A lot of it came down to mental issues that she talks about, mental health issues and like stuff like that. And she's a success story on the other end of it. It's kind of interesting though, where at her age now, she almost is gonna, I think, better off to play characters that she's going to be casted in the next few years. Like she plays badass but still motherly figure, and like I could see her doing something that Sigourney Weaver did in Avatar.
No,
like
exactly.
I could see that.
Yeah,
later
we're
down
like
the
in
road.
her old age, she can get her renaissance.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for that for her.
Or Halloween.
You're putting me on the spot. Scream Queen. She's the GOAT. We are talking about Jamie Lee Curtis.
There you go. Oh, good job. You didn't even have to look it up.
Yeah.
I knew you'd get there. Yeah.
So great. I think it was a great movie. I loved it. I thought it was for a Terminator movie. I thought it was a wonderful coming back of Homecoming. So.
Like I don't need them to rush to make a new one. I just need to enjoy this one for a while.
Yeah, and I hope success for everybody in this movie because there was so much talent.
Because if you put this in a trilogy now, like 1, 2, and then this one. It's a nice little trilogy you have going on, and technically, that's what this movie did. It's saying, okay, cancel these other 3 movies. We're putting this. This is kind of really our universe, and that's kind of alter universe now.
So on one end of the spectrum, good brother, we had a really good time, and it's good, positive vibes coming out of Terminator and the Terminator universe. The future looks bright in this apocalyptic storyline, but in this storyline we're about to get into, things are not looking as bright, and that is Benioff and Weiss are now off of their Star Wars trilogy they were working on. And it's a lot of interesting news coming out of the Game of Thrones world that we'll be getting into in just a little bit later down into the show. But this story specifically, good vibes going into Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. This is interesting that it's another director, another team that is being dismantled before something gets launched. What do you think about this kind of news so close to The Rise of Skywalker?
Well, actually, it came out this week that it's not. They just chose to announce it right now.
Okay,
and I think it's because they knew publicity would turn for the trailer and Mandalorian. I think it's easier to bury something when you have more coming out. This was decided at the week of the series finale of Game of Thrones,
which was in August.
No, a long time ago. Wasn't that May or June?
That was August.
Somewhere around there. It was months ago. Like, it was months ago. Whenever the series finale was, is when when they were told, hey, we're going a different direction. We'd love to work with you one day, which is code for them saying, you know what, you're not really fitting into our project. So we're going to wait a little bit, and we're going to try to bury the story a little bit and just keep quiet. Yeah, so I was right.
Yeah, May 19th.
That's what I thought. Mm-hmm. So, right again, Alex.
Yeah.
Swoosh. Anyway, it's interesting that they waited so long, but then it makes sense when you're like, oh, new trailer, tickets, Mandalorian. It's easier to bury it now instead of letting us talk about it for 5 months.
I agree with that.
Because had you announced it in the series finale of Game of Thrones, it's so much going in there now. And I think they wanted to stay away from that negative already from the series finale. It just goes to Kathleen Kennedy's kind of like, they're already kind of calling it where she's going to call her shot. Because I think the Rise of Skywalker, Rise of Skywalker?
The Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, Last Jedi is still in the break.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
Now. Yeah.
So Rise of Skywalker is going to make a ton of money, and she's doing Indiana Jones. I think they're going to move her over. Because I think she's just not working well, and I think the universe they're trying to make now with the TV and the Disney Plus is kind of going separate. I think Feige's kind of being groomed too. I have that feeling. I'm like, well, maybe Kevin Feige will take over. And he's already made Marvel kind of strong enough, and they're going to be on a 10-year hiatus of sorts of you probably don't need him necessarily as much as the Star Wars might need him right now with the Obi-Wan and this. And he's kind of going to head Disney Plus in general. He's kind of already been having those meetings.
Yeah.
He really likes the property. Now he's connected to direct one and make one and produce it, basically. So I think she's going to, hit her game-winning shot and walk away. And then we're kind of going to see a revamp from Mandalorian on.
What's your excitement level for The Rise of Skywalker as we get closer?
Really high.
Same.
I mean, but they're smart, and I have Mandalorian to get me there.
I'm super excited.
I'm not going to not be talking about Star Wars for the next 2 months.
What I guess we're doing now, since we're talking Star Wars, how would you like to handle Mandalorian? Would you like to do episode by episode? Would you like to do?
Well, they're giving us the first 2, I believe, or first 3.
I think it's the first,
and then it's weekly. So we're going to review the first 3, and then we'll do it every week, we do just like Watchmen.
Awesome. All right, so that cool.
Because it'll probably hit that list of Watchmen and this, where it's people are talking about it.
And speaking of Watchmen, for all you Watchmen fans in our TV section, we are going to be doubling down on our reviews of Watchmen episode 2 and 3 on the next episode of The Good Brothers. So make sure you guys stick it in for a cool double feature that we're going to do together. So we'll stay on the Watchmen train a little bit because of Mandalorian. They're doing a lot of hype for it because obviously you and I are big sports fans, and Star Wars obviously being part of ESPN. I think the excitement level is going to kind of dissipate everything that we saw with Benioff and Weiss. I think this won't be a story come November.
It's already not a story.
Yeah, mid-November.
I don't think it's a story anymore.
And continuing on in the TV world, we dig in a little deeper as we see what Disney is doing with Mandalorian, what they're going to be doing with Obi-Wan, what they're doing with all these properties in the MCU. Well, guess what? DC is not going to be
Warner Brothers was not having it.
Let us know.
They're huge HBO Max content. I believe that the fact that we have HBO Now, not the TV, but the app HBO Now, it'll transfer over to HBO Max. It's going to be the same thing.
Good name.
So we already have it. So that's good. Like, we don't have to buy anything more or even cancel. I think if you're a cable subscriber, you don't get HBO Max. It's the app, actually.
That's interesting.
So even though it's similar, it's not the same necessarily. So I think they're going to make you say, it's all about cutting the cord nowadays. It's easier for them to make it an app, but we have it because we have HBO Now, Mike. So we're lucky we don't have to buy anything new. They basically announced it with, they're going to have the Friends. They're going to have everything. They're kind of putting it all in their universe. And they're having all the kids shows. And they announced they're making the most expensive superhero TV show with Green Lantern Corps. So that's so fascinating that they're going to start it off. And there's rumors that they're going to connect this to the movie universe. And they're going to put a lot of money behind every episode. And this is going to be their big opening of HBO Max. So I'm very excited about that.
And it all kind of goes
content
full circle.
War.
It really is a content war. But it all kind of comes full circle, too. When they got rid of boxing, everybody was wondering, like, what are they doing? Like, they're not going to have Game of Thrones forever. And they're like, no, we're just going to stream and like get all our properties together. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited about HBO Max. What do you think about this Apple product that we're going to see with the Eyes show with Jason Momoa?
Well, here's the problem with that. That show got great reviews. But out of the 6 they threw out, 5 of them got critically bombed.
Really?
And I guess it's fine. Like I said, I think it's all going to come down to the end. HBO is always going to be a big one in the war. Then Netflix, and then Disney Plus. Those are your 3. Obviously, I think HBO falls in that you have to be a hardcore fan like we are. That might be the limit. That's right where the line is. I think of like, well, if you do have anything extra, it's HBO. And then obviously, I think Netflix and Disney Plus are going to be must-have.
And keeping in the world of HBO, what do you think about the fact that Game of Thrones, while Benioff and Weiss have their own drama heading in the Star Wars universe, in the Game of Thrones universe, they cancel one show just to bring in another show called Game of Thrones House of the Dragon? Do you think this is going to be about HBO Max? Do you think this is going to be proper HBO? Where do you think this lands?
No, it's proper HBO, and the only thing that happened is Naomi Watts did the pilot for the White Walker prequel, we'll call it. Yeah, that's what it was going to be. And I think what it came down to is money. And they only had enough money for one show at this moment. And it was, do we want dragons or do we want White Walkers? What sells more? Problem with the White Walker one is like 6,000 years before. And I think they kind of got burned with Benioff and Weiss of like, we don't have any material for this. We have to make up the material.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they want to avoid because look what happened in season 8. Even though it's kind of grown on me personally, the last season of Game of Thrones, they actually think it's very well done. I think it's fascinating. They're like, you know what? Let's go back to material. We have a book about this. We know the history of Targaryens. This is only a couple hundred years. Like this is like we're gonna hear names of people we recognize,
family names.
So this is more interesting. I think like it's more modern history instead of it's like. Do you want to watch the Civil War stuff or do you want to watch World War II? What sold more? It was World War II. Like Saving Private Ryan sold more than Glory did.
That's a
and
great
I
way
think
to
it's a good way to reference it here. It's like we rather see the more modern Game of Thrones than you go too far back and we don't know what we're watching and we can't connect. And now we got to make your own material. So who's in charge?
I think it's really interesting that HBO has done a really good job of bouncing back after Game of Thrones, this series finale, not having that material anymore, to give us really good short series, to give us things down the road that we're going to be excited about, and also delivering us with Watchmen so far.
I mean, HBO is a no miss because, like, Watchmen, we'll talk about next week because I know we have to catch up a little bit. I love the most recent episode. They have so many good things. The Deuce just had a series finale, 3 great seasons. They bet on James Franco when a lot of people were turning their back on James Franco. And we're very strong-headed on the show about until there's evidence, it's kind of hard for us to be the judge and the jury, you know?
Well, I think also when it comes to something like that, it's like theoretically, hopefully, everything comes to the surface. So you just live in the moment.
Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, we thought Johnny Depp was his monster, and we found out, oh no, they were both bad to each other. and she made up a lot of stuff about Johnny Depp.
And you have to live in the moment. It's too hard to, if you start looking back at things you said and things that you should say, and it just becomes a dangerous road. And I think that's why it's always interesting when you see deals like this where there's so many people investing in so few people, like Netflix putting so much money on Benioff and Weiss, and then you have Star Wars doing it and it backfires on them. It's a weird thing when, like you said, we're worried about like James Franco. HBO put all that money on him, and if he does screw them over, if something does happen, they put all that investment on them. That's why it's so fascinating that so many great auteurs get the money, but also it's only a few of them.
Yeah, it's fascinating because obviously in this whole war, Disney's going to have the library. They have so much to offer you already in all the universes. When Netflix is spending the money and they're making the original content of When They See Us and Orange is the New Black, there's so many original programming now, like Ozark. They are like, okay, they're always going to have a place because you never know when that last Ozark gem, that Narcos gem of like, oh, this is like great TV, or The Irishman in this case, or El Camino, where you're like, oh, they can do a lot with Netflix. Like, what if they said, hey, we're going to put all those Walking Dead movies on Netflix because I think we'll get more of our audience there. And they're probably right. An original Rick Grimes story is your old school kids. I mean, Walking Dead, while we're here, I mean, it's only getting worse. I think they're going to eventually call it soon because now these numbers are getting so low. And I think even I don't watch anymore. I officially jumped off because it's just so hard to keep an interest on a Sunday night when you do have Watchmen and Sunday Night Football. And it's like, it's just not good enough to watch anymore. It's almost like the Flash universe where there's so much going on. If you jumped off, you're like, well,
you're
okay.
Yeah,
there's only enough time to watch good TV, and I think that good TV is the HBOs, the Netflixes.
I don't recognize Walking Dead.
No,
I don't recognize it.
I don't know what it is, and every time you think they can do something really cool, they don't. And obviously, we love Norman Reedus, but you can even find from him. You're like, no, they're done almost.
Yeah, that's all
they're gonna have to end it. I like Little Judith, but I mean, I'm over it.
That show's at least 3 years.
Like the problem is they'll give you a really 2 good, and then they'll give you like 7 bad, and then like 2 really good, and like 6 bad again.
Yeah, that's just a show that it lost something.
It's just meh. I'd rather it be bad, but it's so meh.
I think that's pretty much it for everything in the TV world.
I mean, the wars are about to begin. It's going to happen. Like, as soon as Disney Plus comes on Mandalorian 3 episodes and Lady and Tramp movie, Netflix is coming out with their Oscar movies now and their new seasons. They might surprise. BoJack just came out, and I loved it. They're on their final season. They gave away half now, half in January.
That's cool.
Narcos is rumored to come out sometime early next year. Like, there's a lot in there. And like I said, The Irishman, one of the biggest movies Netflix has ever done, coming out Thanksgiving weekend. I can't wait to see the numbers on that.
Well, it's going to be fascinating. Netflix doesn't give all their numbers out. They only give us a few of them, like especially if it's a big hit like Stranger Things.
They give the numbers when it's good.
So obviously I think this movie is going to be great. And it's the first one where, we were talking about Walking Dead movies.
They can die on Strange. Sorry, it's crazy to me. Like, I didn't even mention it because I don't enjoy it, but look how much of a push they did for it. Like, hey, we're filming season 4, and people went nuts just for the filming of season 4.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And I think more than anything, a show like Stranger Things makes things possible when it comes to a long-running season. But a movie like Irishman, much more than a Netflix movie of like Walking Dead, puts it on a different stratosphere, which is going to allow it to hang around with HBO and Disney
awards
easily, because at some point Disney Plus will do something that's award nominated,
just like When They See Us for Emmys, where you're like, this kept me alive all year. Like, everyone had their show. Netflix has their show too, and then you have Hulu, which is just basically Disney almost. Like, I don't see Hulu lasting forever. I think once some of their more famous shows kind of go out, like Handmaid's Tale, I think Disney's going to kind of blend them in.
Hulu will survive just because it has the live television aspect to it too.
Yeah,
so it'll have
be different. It'll be it won't look the same in a few years, I think.
So hopefully this war lives up a lot better than the war we're about to get into.
Yeah.
Because the Wednesday night wrestling wars, at least the last 2 weeks that we've been watching, have been so hit or miss, at least for me it has been. I'm not even one of these guys that complains about everything they see on a wrestling show. I have just not been interested in it. A lot of the interest in my wrestling consumption the last few weeks has been moments, not
NXT.
shows.
I think NXT has been great.
The shows are fine.
NXT has been I think it's been great. I think AEW is I don't care about numbers, honestly, because they might say, oh, that's the numbers. They only have 550,000 for us. And then you look at it as, well, network-wise, that actually is very good.
Right.
So that they're living for it. Like, that's better than any other show they were going to put out that night. for cable television. Same way AEW, we had the World Series. Here's my problem: NXT has remained good at least, and we're getting great stories. And I love William Regal yelling War Games. I love when he does that. I like his little booth.
He does have a great little booth on top.
I love when he goes War Games. Like, he's so cool. NXT is great. I think it hasn't missed at all. I think it's maybe last week was a little rough because they didn't have last week. It's always good. AEW. Here's my problem: I still don't care about any undercards.
No.
I don't care about the tag team division except for the Inner Circle. And they're like, now they're kind of going to go after titles, it looks like. Cody and Jericho's fine. Dean Ambrose is fantastic. I hope he beats Kenny Omega because, us, like, we're not huge Kenny Omega marks.
And he's good. But
he's fine. Yeah. I don't think he's the god and the end-all, be-all god of wrestling.
No.
But he's fine. I think Dean Ambrose is your name of that company.
John Moxley for all the marks that are going to be
John Moxley. Yeah. I mean, but it's fine. Like, I just don't. You know what? It can live for a while. I don't think it's going to be like back in the day where it gets so bad. People are like, cancel it, or it's not going to do the numbers they want.
You want to know?
There's real money behind it.
Yeah, it's like legitimate money.
We're talking about like a man richer than Vince McMahon.
Yeah. You know what really upset me? The only thing that upset me this week is somebody who we're big fans of, and that's JR. JR going, obviously batting for his crew. It's funny, though, like Seth Rollins says something like, it's the minor leagues, right? Yeah. And JR goes off on this tirade, but completely ignores the fact that Kenny Omega was the first one to say, well, everybody there is in my undercard.
Yeah, no, it's not. I think at this point, he's just playing character. Like,
well, it has to be.
I think at this point, he's so good, he's just playing grumpy old man.
Yeah, just like Jim Cornette is doing the opposite.
Yeah, like he's doing the opposite. Like, I think at this point, it's characters. It's what sells better. What sells more? Because honestly, JR as a commentator is fine.
Yeah, just
by
fine.
Today's standards, it's fine.
Fine. Because the best is Mauro Ranallo, Nigel McGuinness,
and Corey Graves.
And Corey Graves, like that group.
Like, exactly. Like, these people are like, and even Renee Young. Yeah. I think he's good, and I think he has a place. It's just, I think that's his character now. He's like, I got to be the grumpy old man.
Yeah, because to me, it's like, none of it bothered me. I think it's great. It's great promotion for both of them, and neither one of them is not a great wrestler, whether you like them or not, and they're not part of your flavor. Like, they're great
it's all
performers.
Promotion. I think at the end of the day, it's all promotion, and war sells better.
And you little doofus with your microphone. You're easy Terminator, all right? I have a problem with this. You want to change the game, but you don't want to adapt. And it's the biggest problem that people say about Vince McMahon. It's like, well, he doesn't want to change his ways. I think at some point you have to change your ways if you're AEW by maybe doing some backstage vignettes, by doing some interviews, developing character. Look, I love Cody. Cody is the shit. Why is he coming out in the middle of the platform? That is such Triple H-ish stuff to do, which I get a kick out of it.
I think it's fun. Don't talk shit about it.
And then by week 16, am I going to still like it? That's the Ryan Satin effect. I think Ryan Satin has said it best. Talk to me in 52 weeks.
Yeah, talk to me after a few pay-per-views, and you've gone through Christmas time and Thanksgiving, and like, obviously you're hot right now, but I can already see, I'm like, I don't think there's enough in the undercard yet where I'm interested. Like, I still don't care about your women's division. Your tag division's fine. Like, you bet on, the guys I want to see, I feel like I'm not seeing as much as I should.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather see Jungle Boy. I know Luchasaurus is hurt. I like homeboys, the Lucha Brothers.
Lucha Brothers, Pentagon and Phoenix
I like
and
them.
Ortiz.
They should have won, but now they're. I think the problem is when you have so many wrestlers who are in contract other places.
Yeah.
The guys I want to see, you should have under full time. Like Orange Cassidy's fun. I like how you have your gimmick guy. That's cool. I don't like the Best Friends. Kazarian and Homeboy are fine tag team, but like might as well have made it the Bucks at this point. I'd rather have you just said it and done it than you're trying to play coy like, oh, look at these other guys. I don't care about these other guys.
Not yet.
I don't care about Hangman right now. Like, you're not doing a great job making me want to watch Hangman. And it's like, I like Hangman.
But he's, right now, if he's not in the main event, he should be the king of the mid-card, and nobody cares about him. And that is unfortunate. And look, this company will grow. Hopefully they get better over the months and the years. Everybody wants success because there's nothing better than... You know what's great about having a great show like Game of Thrones and also having, like Breaking Bad and stuff all at the same time? There's multiple great shows to watch. Yeah. Just like on a Sunday when there's 4 great football games to watch. The more, the merrier. High tides rise all ships. So if AEW is successful, that means NXT is going to be successful. That means SmackDown and Raw. Give us good content. I think NXT is going to be the consistent 7.5 to 9.5. You know what they're going to bring every single time. I want AEW to always ride that 8. Give me that 8
They'll
all
probably
the
write
way.
a mill. They'll go code mill.
I would love that. I would love. Oh, rating wise, I hope so. But
Yeah.
give me an 8 score every single week. I'm a happy man.
I just don't
Average.
like the content. I think at the end of the day, I just don't like the AEW brand. It's fine. The edgy stuff they do, I'm like, cool, but I'd rather see my favorite WWE characters on a Wednesday night.
How about this too? I would love to see somebody who wasn't WWE developed break out of the mold.
Yeah.
So show me somebody that's not Cody, not Jericho, not Moxley, not Pac.
Yeah, exactly.
Become naturally.
really make me want to watch. Or even JR at this point.
When is MJF going to break the glass?
Yeah,
That's what I want to see.
when is
MJF
Kenny going to really be that level? When is Hangman?
That's all I'm asking. Once that happens, that's when you know.
Which is, again, fascinating. You didn't just put the title on the Bucks. It should have started on the Bucks and tag team.
I guess if you're going to put it
and the fact that you
SCU
didn't, it should have been the Lucha Brothers.
I get it, but if you're going to put it on Kazarian and the idea was Christopher Daniels, I get why you wanted to do
Then
it.
change it.
But I guess there's nothing worse about putting it on the Bucks. Because here's the thing, you can't get away with the fact that we know they're all EPs.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't, don't run away from it. Just do it. Just
exactly,
do stuff.
but like
Just work
they're
with
just
it.
the best tag team, and they are the most name recognizable. Give them the belts,
Oh, easily.
and that's why it made no sense they didn't though.
So I think it's fascinating. I think we always come out harsh, but you and I are just critical. And we just look at things like sports fans. We look at things like film fans, like TV fans, and we're going to watch it. And we don't hate watching it, but we critique it. And what we like, what we don't like, we don't like. And we call it what it is. I cannot wait in the greatest city in the world to watch 2 War Game matches, to watch NXT versus Raw versus SmackDown. I can't wait for All Out or All In 7 when they come back here.
Hey,
Wrestling is in the city.
One second. Who's the champion for SmackDown? By the way,
Let's do this right. Let's do this right. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations are due to the good brother himself, Alex Mercado, as he called weeks ago when everybody thought it was just a house show, when everybody thought The Fiend was buried. Ladies and gentlemen, good brother, take your dap.
You know what? And I put it down to you on paper, and I kept telling you the whole time. I'm like, Mike, it's happening. Mike, it's happening.
You were a little wary last week.
Yeah,
You were a
but
little
that
on the
was a
fence
joke.
last
Like, I knew it was going to happen. And they set it up perfectly for it, where Miz TV on a Friday night. They just made history with the woman. People are looking again real fast. The Fatal 5-Way wasn't the last match on a house show, quote unquote. You're doing a pins count everywhere. He went over the ledge and he was waiting. It all was so visible that you had to be an ignoramus like you, Michael, to not notice this was so obvious. He was going to win the title. They had to do it. They killed a month. That's fine. They were like, oh, hell no, that happened. We just got to kill a few weeks, guys, and we'll be fine.
Well, yeah, they took the title away from us watching it in Chicago.
Like, it's so... Oh, man, Mike. Like, I hate always being so
well, that was
right.
our title to have in
That's
Chicago.
fine, but I'm right.
No,
And I
sure.
knew I was going to be right. I knew it. I called them up. I was like, they're going to do it at Saudi. Because guess what now, Mike? Your ass has to watch the next Saudi
Yeah, I know.
event just in case.
Yeah.
And guess what? They won't do anything.
Of course
But then
not.
you'll watch one more to make sure they're going to do
What
something.
did I say to you before we recorded?
They're going to drag it out 10 years.
This is the new Undertaker on main
Yep.
events. So,
They're going to keep doing it where you're like, oh, wait.
So, what do you think is happening in
You know what's going to next
Chicago
time?
now?
Austin's probably going to wrestle.
Yeah, of
next.
course. What do you think happens in Chicago now in 3 weeks when we have Survivor Series?
Title defense.
What's the matches? Because is it
I don't
champions
know. I
versus
have
champions?
to see SmackDown and Raw first to make any educated guesses. I'm letting my brain rest from being so
You're just going
right.
to soak it in and win.
So I need to see where kind of because I do read the storylines. So it's the only reason I knew it. I was like, they're setting it up that he's not on SmackDown, but he's bringing the title with him, but he doesn't have to be, and maybe they're going to put the title there, and maybe Kane wins at Survivor Series instead.
That'd be interesting.
I think maybe they just wanted to give Brock his win back real fast and be like, okay, let's do that at Survivor Series. Maybe that's WrestleMania. Maybe Brock holds it till WrestleMania. Maybe Kane is just here, and maybe we're going to see more of a Kofi comeback of sorts.
It could be a Ken Shamrock type of run for
Maybe
Kane.
we're finally going to get a Daniel Bryan Brock Lesnar title feud.
It could be much
There's a lot that can go on.
Or it could be as simple as Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar in Tampa for him to take that title back and be the lead of SmackDown.
Now, do I think Raw is going to keep this, or SmackDown keeps this red title?
No.
I don't know how they're going to do that or arrange that or maybe the title looks different. Maybe we get a Yowie Wowie title, honestly. And that's how they kind of go back to the old school titles of this is the Raw one, this is SmackDown, but we're not coloring it. They're just champions or championships. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm very fascinated to see where we're going to go with this. But again, I'm letting my brain rest for being so right in calling this.
All right, Nostradamus. What do you think is going to end with Cody versus Jericho? Does Cody get his title?
Cody gets his title.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know is when does Cody finally
gets his title because I think Jericho's going to start working on something else for a little bit.
Oh, I think he has the cruise coming up.
Some of the cruise.
It'd be interesting for him to have the belt in the cruise, though. I could see them trying to do something like that.
Maybe he'll win it back. I think they're going to give Cody it just because it kind of feels
it's time for Cody to have the title.
Yeah, the way they're setting up like his first major title in a televised company makes sense.
And naturally,
Jericho would be the guy, yeah.
Cody kind of does.
And I feel like you have a lot of heels in the making of a Pac or an Ambrose or Moxley, where you can be like, oh no, that's where we're going next. Like we can give it to Moxley next. We can give it to Pac. Jericho was the first. That's all we needed him to do. He carried us to the first episode. Okay, now let's give it to Cody. Okay, now who's over here? Oh, we got Moxley over here and Pac, both facing WWE. Okay, one of them can get it, and we can keep going back and forth. Then you say to yourself, Hangman, and he has a rivalry with this guy. There's so much ways you can set it up.
I think it's going to be a great time.
I think your main event is fine at AEW. Everything else is not good.
And
but your main event looks great.
Yeah, and I really would like to see a lot of, I would love to see like Tania Dashwood versus Britt Baker if they ever got Emma.
Their women's division is just so lackluster.
But that's the conversations that we're going to have plenty of time, especially during the holiday season. But good brother, I think that is it. Are you ready for the next 100 episode? This is episode 101, so we got 99 more until 200.
This is my retirement speech.
Wonderful. All right, Jordan, I can't wait to get the facts that I'm back. All right, for the good brother himself, Alex Mercado.
Adios.
I'm Mike Mercado. We'll see you in the next episode of the Good Brothers here on the Mercado
Airwaves
Network.
Thanks for joining us here on the Good Brothers, here on Mercado Airwaves. Enjoy our shows? Follow the Mercado Airwaves crew all over social media. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. On Instagram, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado2121. Mike is at Mike Mercado2333. And our true crime show is at Murder Mysteries and More. And on Twitter, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado21Alex. And Mike is at Mercado2333. You can follow the network at Mercado Airwaves. Follow our pop culture show on Twitter at Good Brothers Pod. Get us on the go by downloading our programs anywhere you get your favorite podcast, like iTunes, SoundCloud, Podbean, Stitcher, and other popular sites. Just search us at Mercado Airwaves. While you're at it, please like, rate, review, and share us with your friends. Visit us on youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. Click the subscribe and like button to get notified every time a new episode or interview is posted. Support Mercado Airwaves by visiting patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves, the home of our interviews with athletes and celebrities, which you can get ad-free and early before it's released to the public. Come play video games with us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network. Mercado Airwaves is powered by Munch Art Design. Like them on Facebook at Munch Art Design. Voiceover work on Mercado Airwaves is performed by Josh Fox. Enjoy our shows? Follow the Mercado Airwaves crew all over social media. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. On Instagram, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado2121. Mike is at Mike Mercado2333. And our true crime show is at Murder Mysteries and More. And on Twitter, Nicole is at Typing When Tipsy. Alex is at Mercado21Alex. And Mike is at Mercado2333. You can follow the network at Mercado Airwaves. Follow our pop culture show on Twitter at Good Brothers Pod. Get us on the go by downloading our programs anywhere you get your favorite podcast, like iTunes, SoundCloud, Podbean, Stitcher, and other popular sites. Just search us at Mercado Airwaves. While you're at it, please like, rate, review, and share us with your friends. Visit us on youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. Click the subscribe and like button to get notified every time a new episode or interview is posted. Support Mercado Airwaves by visiting patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves, the home of our interviews with athletes and celebrities, which you can get ad-free and early before it's released to the public. Come play video games with us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mercado Airwaves Network. Mercado Airwaves is powered by Munch Art Design. Like them on Facebook at Munch Art Design. Voiceover work on Mercado Airwaves is performed by Josh Fox.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
Another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones. Orlando, how you doing,
How are
buddy?
you, sir? I'm good, brother. How you doing?
And all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.